I take from the days of Holocaust, the days and cloths, from the days I look to the likes of its own words. I looking from the straight across, I see nothing but the ways of what you're looking for a cost. $1 came for a bill, one came from its own fucking fumes of ways of bills. I see nothing to the ways of what you looking from the straight I bills of buy bills, and then I say from its own private sanctuary sinks, and then I sink, and then I see nothing but I sink, but I see nothing but it's very. I say for the change from the ways of what I do, ways of groove. I see the ways I feed, the ways of what I'm looking for, my very groove. Taken from the strays of disco, the rays of fisco. I could not raise, but I changed my fisto. I see from its own physical, the wrist to cold. I see my wrist is getting cold. My right hand is breaking like I never seen the O. But it's been sliced, it's been broken, it's been chopped in half, chopped and graft. I see from a chop, but I take it from the days of looking for my own very grab. Own has some mites. You see from the straight of Yosemite, you're looking for Yellowstone. You never seen the own volcano. Hold from a straight of its own west of Washington, the boss of then I straight from the boss. I grab from the boss, I grab from the boss of them, from the great boss of them, I say from the bosses of them. They say from the straight of varsity, you see the JV, the Dre V's, the straight Ray V's, the straight Davies. You never see the JV Jones going from the straight out the locker. Straight out and never take it down because I never go to Foot Locker. I take this shit from the straight of thrift stores. Taken from families never seated by the rays of cords, from the rays of days of cord, from the days I take it from the shower, like I'm going like a straight of scour. I hope you're gonna get me from a straight excavation. I hope you take me down because I'm talking like a straight eviction rating. From a straight of rating, from a straight API to rate of eyes, and then you couldn't see myself because I couldn't see my own derivatives. I see from the ribs of them, I take from the rivets of them, going from smashing down when I take from the birds of them. You never pick from the birds of them, from the birds of them, from the doctor birds of them, from the girds of them, from the own curdle, the girdles, and then from the grays of girdle. I hold the ways of birtle, from the ways I couldn't see from my ways of birtle, from the birtles of them, from the myrtles, from the straight fucking evil. Then I could not see from the straight of its own igloo, from I see through its eyes. I tried to see from I'm saving through my A's way through, base and through. From my strays, I'm trying to look through, but every time I ground to dig under, I'm looking for digging the skies and digging. I see the ways, I'm looking for the days I simp down. I see the simp down. I'm never going to arrive. So I look into the ways, I look into your ways and hives, I look into its own antennas. You could not see the ways that we've taken from its own to strive. But maybe the man that was talking about the book of straight of Orson got cars flipped the card and he realized that we were coming to very hive. But the ways we couldn't see, the ways of what we taken from our own the sky, from the ways and hive and ways and drive through its own, the ways and drive from its own battle schools and ways and battle schools, from the ways and battle schools, from amazing battle schools of its own amazing battle from its own acrobatic to what made a manics, and then from its own gastro diets and tensteins and then tens, and then I see days I'm rapping like I never seen this old rapping like I never seen rhyme. I hold back, I'm flipping now, I see my nickels and then I grabbing my dimes. I see the 15, the bit teens, the grip teens, and then I grip these, I hold back from bit these, looking at my straight of bit T, the bit T's, and then I'm reading D's, and then if we got that 50, going through a straight of equation, going from a straight of 15, a grit teens, and then we grit teens, and hold back from its own, a grip and tape, from its own scale, but taken from a straight of Hurley. I see them when I nut, and I see this own ways to get it swirly, the burleys, the birds of these, and herds of these, from the rays and birds and these, from the rays of birds and these, from the words that got burned and then I got burned from these, so I take from the spread, take some bread, all raisin then, from a raisin then, from the raisin thin, so I've been razor thin, so I have to cut all my potatoes, so razor thin, just to get my little of its own, of blues, of chips, of blues, of clips. I see this own blues, I'm dipping in my own blue cheese and dip. Ugh. I only play with the raisin ranch. I want your butters and milks and butters and silks. I see this butters and I see this old rows and clothes. I see from the raisin rows and clothes, from the raisin blows and codes. I see it so blazing. I'm gonna see when it's twisting and windy and it's so fucking cold. It's so fucking snowy in the world that I've been in. From the ways that have been raining, from the ways that you've been poured, the ways that have been poured, ways that have been poured. I could not see the ways that you looking but of its own ways and shore. So I see from the seashells and Z-shells because she sells part of seashells, part of the seashore, V-shores. So I have to be short, V-shores, because I could not be short from its beats, B-shores, from the ways of could not peace and could not be because its own have to be shore, E-shore, because E-shore from the bad dude, the bad dudes become the bad, and then you see from the bad, looking from the bads, it could not see from the bads, the dudes, and then the bad do, but you hoodoo from my straight of voodoo to rude dude, because I rude dude, because I've been a rude dude, I would not rude too, from the straight of root to from the straight of brute to root tits, a brute, I loot to this, I loot to this, a brute coot to this, so I see, so I brute to this, I coop to this, I see from the coop, I root to this, so I stay within to talk to you about my own rhymes and clues. I see from my rhymes and to take it down and take from the rhymes and to from its coup de grace, from the ways that you see, the way you give me Mardi Gras, art to nos. I see from the ways, I'm looking for the ways in God. But some days when I look at the devil, he giving me this own very different to talk, the way you would not see, the way you could not dividend. I see the ways you look at them. But every day I talk to you back. I say what you doing like you never rhyming that. You say the ways you been part the way to some shady. You gave me the 3 ways, but I've been part of the ways that you did part of its own wavy. So I grabbed the wave and then grabbed the waves. I see nothing but a straight rabbit hole, national waves, Bayesian, and then I see the Bayesian waves. I've been evasion for days of grading arrays, grading, and then I've been grading my own shit like I never graded today. Part of its own the very tomorrow, but I've been looking at yesterday, the rest of days, so the rest of days, so I've been part of the best, so I never been Sylvester Stallone. I hit an ace at rock, a bass at rock, and then a bass, and then I hit the bass, a back and rock, bass and dack and docks. I see when I sit myself a bass, I'm part of my own, the very dark. I see bodies sitting in its trash and bag. I've been chopping them up and slashing bags. I see from the dexters of my own, a very laboratory, inventories. I see this own inventory, the bories. I see from this emborium and aborium, from the days of its own, the very emporium. But Heath Ledger could not join his own very race. I see my own Joker because he see when we played from the days of his own very face. Something broke him down from the very inside. It broke him down. He never see the world that came from its own disguise. Just a word of the forge, just word of the chords from the ways that been wording from the ways of its own, a very part of its own, and torturation from its torch. I've been part of its own, a roar debating from a roar debating from its own wars. I've been part of its own, a very invading from its Darth Vader, from the ways we chimping from its own invader, from its own emperor, the ventiver, from the rent to ventiver, from its rent to crentivert, from the straight to crent, and then a clink. I say from the clank, I hate backs and thanks, I hate backs, and then Lloyd Banks gave me from the hand of thanks, I gave from the straight of the wrist of his spit, coming from the hands I make a twist in the spit, just rubbing so hard just to make my own steam, makes a hold of routines, and from the old things I hold them back and never grow things, wrote to proteins, and then I send not send from its own of its own, wrote to it grabs and then it catches when it never has enough of metal, enough of metals, and I see from its own, I see it from its own, and nepherin from its own, and mepperpin, see from my own peppermint, so I grab my own little pepper and them, she say let go, let my death come go. I see from the death, I see nothing but days of codes, the rays of codes, from the rays of basic code. And he paid for everything that I not see from my own very code. I know I'm just a stupid asshole, but when I look at you, I see the goddess in you, the goddess, and what you could not see, what I see into. But now you know we have more than one. We have more than ones. I see more than ones. I see more than, and I could not see the boards in them. I see from the boards to them, boards to them, from the boards to them. But we must give it time, must ideas, because I look at the days of rhyme, because I see I could not twist. I could not grab from the ideas of what I could twist. I'm not trying to make my own rap rank of its own competition, but I'm looking at Eminem. When you look at me, when we play this ways and schemes, the ways of feeds the scenes, I see like the fiends are coming like the straightest zombies with no brains or bro brains. I want the zombies that come on like a Stephen Hawking rocks, and then I see nothing but rays until we hit the fucking rockets. But then, what are we doing with oxygen?